Hey, I'm Mansour from Incrementum Digital. Today, you will learn everything you need to know to get started with Walmart advertising. Whether you want to launch your brand on Walmart's platform or you plan to become a Walmart ads manager, this video is perfect for you. We will walk you through the whole Walmart's advertising platform and show you everything you need to know, as well as doing a step-by-step keyword research. We will guide you through creating campaigns from scratch and teach you bid optimization. We are doing this because Walmart is making an obvious massive push to increase its e-commerce market share in 2024. For example, Jake Paul just launched his men's personal care products exclusively on Walmart. Since we are currently managing Walmart ads for our clients, we wanted to share our knowledge on what it takes to succeed with Walmart's platform. So let's get into it. So let's get started. We are going to talk about Walmart Advertising 101. So pretty much the basic things. We will go more into the detail, but it's not going to be very advanced. And we start with just the state of e-commerce, where we are standing and what is the forecast for the future. Looking at this graph, yes, it shows Liran shows from 2014 to 2027. In 2023, the e-commerce was generated around 5.7 trillion, and it is expected to go up to 8 trillion by 2027.
Wow.
Yes. And now the question is where Walmart is standing with this. Amazon taking 37.6% of their retail. This is in the US, 37.6, as expected, the highest share of the market, retail e-commerce market, and Walmart taking 6.4% and standing in the second position. So this brings this discussion that if you are expanding, well, the first place that you should look into is Walmart because it has a higher share in the market. Liran, any comment on this?
Yeah, it's interesting because I also like to, I mean, I'm an avid Amazon shopper, but one, not necessarily everybody is, but two, I like to pay attention as I talk to people, like normal shoppers out there, not people in the e-commerce space, what they're doing. And even the last couple of weeks, I was at a friend's house for lunch on Saturday, and the mom there was saying, I've been really getting a lot of my groceries lately, shopping on Walmart. I think it's really much better. Walmart is #1 in the country in terms of grocery. They have a store within 10 miles reach of 90% of the country, which is pretty amazing. And then I heard another woman there who said, I really compare Amazon and Walmart, and a lot of times I find better pricing, or I find Walmart. So I personally am not the type of shopper. I'm like Amazon Prime, and I go on Prime, and I don't compare to Walmart, but that's not everybody. And what I'm seeing is more people talking about Walmart and shopping there. And so just from hearing these kind of conversations from everyday consumers, I feel like this will continue to trend where maybe there is a world where people, have a Prime and a Walmart Plus subscription.
Right.
Just like today, I have a Hulu and Netflix and whatever, right? Like, and it's not necessarily you're exclusively a Walmart shopper or an Amazon shopper or whatever, but you might have both memberships. And so I do think this is going to continue to grow, and Walmart is making a lot of investments. I was just at Shop Talk, and Walmart spent well over $1 million on their booth there and had a huge presence. So, you could see the trends where they're going.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. And I think the way I look at it is that I feel like there is some overlap between Amazon shoppers and some Amazon shoppers and Walmart shoppers. And there are some audience that they are just purchasing on Walmart. So you might be reaching to some customers that they might not even purchase much on Amazon. To your point, actually, yesterday I was from Instacart. I was ordering some grocery from Walmart. And while I was shopping, I saw a few other products, like I don't have a dog, but I was checking the dog vitamins and stuff like that. I mean, some customers, they do more grocery shopping from Walmart And if they see other products that they need, there's a high chance of them purchasing from Walmart rather than Amazon while they are doing other
And
shopping as
yes,
well.
and there's benefits to having Walmart Plus with grocery, and so you might get into Walmart Plus membership because of grocery, and then along with that you get, you know, the fast shipping and the other benefits. And
Mm.
so yeah, maybe you will compare. So yeah, I'm going to start also doing a little bit of comparison just for the industry knowledge of seeing things like pricing and selection and how it relates. But I do think you're going to continue to see more selection and more shoppers on the platform. And one thing we know about platforms is that earlier on they are easier, and I'll give you an example of that. Today you can do something with Bazaar Voice and Walmart and get reviews through people who get a product for free and then write a review. Well, you used to be able to do that with Amazon until 2016, I think it was October 2016, when Amazon said no more. I believe eventually Walmart will do the same. Right now they're in ramp up mode. They need those reviews. Eventually they won't. They'll have enough shoppers, they'll have enough reviews, and they won't. And so you do want to take advantage of some of the early opportunities if it makes sense. Every brand is different. If it makes sense, if it makes sense for your category, for your product, for your focus, budgets, inventory, all of those things. But you know, we do see a lot of reasons to be on. So let's talk about some of these stats.
So here, 2023, the revenue that Amazon generated is 10x of Walmart with 514, about 10x. But what is interesting here is that number of 3P
And
sellers on
Mansour, is this is specifically for Walmart.com?
Walmart.com.
Okay.
Yes. And number of 3P sellers, third-party sellers on Amazon is 1.1 million, comparing that with the Walmart sellers, which are 150K. So it means there is a long way to reach to that competition that we see on Amazon. So it's a relatively easier platform to get and do compete with other product. We have the monthly visitor per seller. It is around, which is actually interestingly, it's this the same, right? What I did here, what's divided monthly visitors by number of the sellers. So how much they are getting visits. So what this is showing me is that while Amazon is generating much more sales, but when you are looking at the number of visitors, they are, even Walmart is seeing more visitors, which is it's showing that how powerful that could be while we are in this initial stage. Registration process has some complexity. We are not going to talk about that. They have monthly subscription fees, paid and free. Actually, no, they have the paid version, right? It's for the sellers, sorry, for the sellers, right?
Yes.
So the storage fee is lower, and also Walmart also has that Walmart fulfillment.
Yep.
So now, what is Walmart Connect? Walmart Connect is Walmart's retail media network and platform. It provides digital advertising services to Walmart suppliers, marketplace sellers, and also the advertisers that want to put their ads in front of the Walmart customer audience through DSP. We are gonna very briefly talk about that, but we are not gonna go to the detail. Walmart also has DSP that you can, even you don't have a product, you can advertise through Walmart DSP. So I have a very good overview of what type of ads you could do through Walmart Connect. It is divided to two parts: the digital solutions and in store and beyond. So in the digital solution, we have sponsored searches, on-site display. Sponsored searches are on Walmart app, in the website. When the customers are searching, it's like Amazon sponsored ads. When they are searching, they can see these ad types. On-site display, it is the homepage and places like that that you could do through DSP. You can run Walmart DSP, which is not only on Walmart homepage. There are different places, different websites that Walmart is working with. And social media, you can also do social media through Walmart, right? It shows the Walmart kind of logo and shows up in different places in Facebook, Instagram, and so on. For in-store, there are TV wall ads that you can run also this through DSP. Self-checkout ads, if you are using the machine, the self-checkout, there are ads that can be put there. Brand experience is something like that you can connect with Walmart and ask them to add a sample when they are doing delivery to the customers. They can add a sample of your product in the delivery to the customer, so you can get some awareness through that. And some events that I'm mentioning, even like I'm sure you have seen, if you are in Walmart store, they have these booths that they can give you a sample of the product. So
Right.
these are all the in-store and beyond that you can do through Walmart Connect as well. Okay. So today, what we are going to talk about is we are only going to cover the sponsored search. So how does a sponsored search work? It is pay-per-click, PPC, similar to most of Amazon sponsored ad types. Advertisers only pay when a user clicks on the ad versus when a user views the ad. So you're only paying for the click. It doesn't mean you have to pay if the customer is viewed, unlike paid social media like Instagram and Facebook, that you are paying for the view. With sponsored search on Walmart, it's similar to Google Ads and Amazon advertising, which is pay-per-click. In Amazon advertising and sponsored ads, we have some VCPM campaigns that you are paying for views, but mostly 80-90% is PPC. It's an auction process and it uses second price auction, meaning the winner of the auction pays very slightly higher than the second winner. So it's not like whatever you are putting as a bid, you will pay. You are just paying slightly higher.
And Walmart ads used to be like that until they made a change maybe a year or two ago. They made a change, which is very good. And yeah, very similar to how things work on Amazon.
Yes. So we are going to go over anything of marketplace in terms of the what is generally what we see on Walmart. But before going to that, we have three types of sponsored search ad types for Walmart: sponsored products, sponsored brands, and sponsored videos that we are going to go into the detail. We are going to create campaigns, so you will see everything in detail, what we have there.
Does it sound familiar?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of Walmart staff executives, came over from the Amazon ad side, right? Because if you're Walmart and you want to build up your ads business, like who do you try to go hire, right? People that have been at Amazon and have already been there and done it and are going to build the same thing. So yeah, you're going to find a lot of similarities.
Right. And all these ad types that we are talking about, they will show up on Walmart's site and app. Now, I'll go over different available pages. Then we move to walmart.com to show all of these in action. So the available pages that we have on Walmart, it's homepage, search pages. When you search for a keyword, the results that you see is in search pages. The item page, which is the product detail page, equal to product detail page on Amazon. We call it here item page. The browse page, which is the category that you are browsing. I'll show you what it is. My item page, when you are adding the items to your cart, it's called my item page. And finally, we have the stock up page. When you are ordering any product, Amazon shows some ads there that it's saying that, okay, you can order, you have purchased these products before, you can purchase it.
Do you need to rebuy them, right? Consumable type. Mansour, if I go back here, what's the difference between a browse page and a search page?
The search, well, we are going to go over that.
Okay, great.
This is the home page, right? As a customer, let's say I'm looking for dog vitamin. So we're going now in the search result pages, the search pages. You see all the products. We're going to go over the placements of ads as well. But for now, we are just looking at the pages. So this is the page. The browse page that we are talking about is, let's say you go to here, right? This is the browse page. You are going to the category directly. So going back here, I'll go to an item page. I click here. This is the Zesty pause. Here you can see the item page. We are going to go again in detail of what we are seeing here. Now, if I add this to cart, actually I have already added. Right here, there are, since I haven't purchased anything, well, I see some recommended with your order. But
Right.
yeah, if I have purchased before, this
And
is
the,
the stock up placements.
right.
the
And you can
pages.
see that 2 out of those 3 products, besides the protection plans, are
Right,
sponsored.
right. And something that I was reading about this, it's just in the stock up pages, just the suppliers can get the placements, not the third party
Got it.
sellers.
And so the language of Walmart is supplier, but and that's really 1P, right? Like
1P, yes,
1P
correct.
vendor, supplier, same terminology, same thing.
Right.
What's interesting too, by the way, what I like here is that it's showing you how many, it's giving you a little bit of a social proof if you go back to the previous screen, in 50 plus people's carts. So, we saw Amazon starting to do this with like how many items sold, but here we see Walmart doing, you see right above the little image of the product there, you have
Yeah.
in 50 plus people's carts. So
Right.
again, that's going to make me feel, one, pretty good. And two, if I think, I don't know if anywhere, if it's showing me like how much they have left in stock, but that might put a little bit of urgency on me to order if I think it might go out of stock or something, but also social proof there, which is nice.
Right. Now we go to the order page, which is, if I go here,
Reorder.
yeah, so it is the order page placement, that whatever you have ordered, you can see here. And also these placements are the placements that, this is the page we are talking about.
Right.
You have lists and registers, but this is all the placements that all the pages that we have on Walmart. Now, we want to see what type of placements for ads we have. Before getting into that, let's go to search result pages and see what type of ads we see, where the ads are appearing. If I go back to dog vitamins, so we have an ad here. This is a sponsored brand. We are going to talk about that. Same as Amazon, it shows the sponsored badge here, right? It is saying that it's sponsored. If we go down here, it has for sponsored, these are sponsored products. If you will be covering, we scroll down, we have some organics. There is a video ad here. You see the sponsored badge. Scrolling down, you see more in the middle of the page, but they are, in terms of how many they show in the middle of the page, it is less than Amazon. As you can see here, it is just 1 or 2. Here we have 1. We scroll down, see what we have more.
Yep.
2 more here. So they show 2 more there. Scrolling down, all organic results.
That's it. Yeah. Oh.
This is a carousel we are going to talk about. This is a placements as well.
And that's
Now,
sponsored too. All that is sponsored.
Yeah, that's sponsored. So if you click on this product, in the product or item page, we are used to product detail page. In item page, you have the images, you see the main image. Here's the buy box that we have here. It shows the title and who the seller is, who the brand is, your delivery method. You can add to the list, add to the registry. This is the first placement for ad, which is buy box. Then we go, this is another carousel that we see. It is a combination of organic and PPC. Customer also considered organic and PPC combination. So we see more ads. You have the description of the page, some specification.
So the difference I see between Walmart and Amazon here is that for some of these placements, Amazon has all sponsored in a row, and Walmart seems to have a combination of organic and
Combination.
sponsored. Eventually, it'll all change. Eventually, it'll probably be all sponsored, just
Yes.
like Amazon. But Walmart's earlier in, so they're giving you a little bit more organic visibility, but which is good. I
Right.
think competition is great, right? It's good for the industry.
Yeah, 100%. And then lastly, we have this product you may also like Carousel that it shows sponsored. So it is all sponsored. And down here we have all the reviews plus another carousel, another
And
carousel we
and
see.
those are organic.
These are organic, yes.
Oh no, wait, this one bottom
Sometimes
here,
this is sponsored actually.
this is
This is
sponsored, but the
sponsored.
one
This
above it
one
is
is
organic.
organic, might have some combination of sponsored
Right.
and organic, which
Right.
it brings me back to the placement. So we have search in grid, right? The search in grid placements are the search result and browse pages. If I go back here, this is the search in grid placements for a sponsored product. Because sponsored headline ads that we will
Right.
cover, it's
Sponsor brand.
just one placement, the sponsor brand, yeah. So for sponsored products, this placement, everything that you see here is search in grid for the sponsored product. And they look like organic results, right? In terms of the look, it's just a badge that we have here. Also, Walmart considers let me actually go here to, if I go to any department, let's just go randomly here. Any ads that shows up in these browsing when you go to the node, they will be considered search in grid as well. So that's actually, I don't see any ad at the moment here, but the ads will show up here and they are searching grid.
Right.
Next is my item in grid, right? My item in grid is reorder section of a customer's my item page. So anything that you see here, these placements called my item in grid. Any placement that you see here, that's the placement. Personalized and sponsored products carousel. That's the point, Liran, you mentioned. Some of them is the whole carousel is sponsored product. That is called sponsored product carousels. Some of them are personalized. Yeah. So
Right.
if we go to page that we are looking at, first of all, we also have this in the home page as well. All the way down here. This is a sponsored carousel, right? In the search result pages. Now, if we click to any page, we have here combination. Some of them are, this is, for instance, customized carousel. This is customized, and if I want to show you sponsored product carousel, this is a sponsored product carousel. So these are the placements that we have, which is showing up in item pages and the searching grid. Buy box is the only placements that we have under buy box. This is the buy box placements, and at the moment it's just one product. And stock up, that's the one I showed you. When they are ordering, they get ads and organics of previous products that they have placed order, but it's only available for suppliers. So this is all the placements that you need, all the pages that you need to understand.
Mansour,
Now,
the placement under the buy box, is that a display placement or is that
no,
sponsored?
it's a sponsored product.
Okay, so that's a difference between Amazon and
Yes.
Walmart.
So there's a chance in the future we will have a sponsored display as well.
Right.
Now, looking at that, we have on the left, we have all the pages. On the top, we have all the placements. The search and grid, as I showed you, we have it in search pages and browse page. My item in grid, the placement shows up only in my item page. For the carousel that we talk for personalized one, it shows up in homepage. We didn't take a look at that, but it shows up on homepage. It shows up on item page. And interestingly, seems like, oh yes, we didn't have any, in the search pages, we don't have personalized one. It's just a sponsored product. So for a sponsored product, we have the placements on search page, on item page, and the browse page. Buy box, it is only on item page. And finally, stock up is in the stock up page. So it's a good view of showing you where everything is showing up.
Great.
Okay. Now, a few things before getting a few terminology that you need to know. This is called item taxonomy. Taxonomy. Then we have the great value. You see, this is the item brand, and we have the item title. So this is something that you need to know because we are going to talk about this. And there is an anchor item. As you have for Amazon, we have the ASINs in terms of, if I click here on any product, they have this item ID, which same as Amazon that shows up in the address. This is the item ID.
Got it.
Right, yeah. Instead of ASIN, we have ASIN there. Here we have item ID. And I mentioned what's the item title, item brand, and we have this. This is the same as category kind of thing that we have on
subcategories.
Subcategories. Okay, keyword and product research. How we should do keyword research. The first way for keyword research that we are going to do is just by, let's say I'm searching for dog vitamin. It's the suggested keywords from Walmart itself. That's the first way you can do the keyword research. The second way, let me take this item ID. We will go to helium. We are going to use helium 10. Actually, if I can do this, if you have Walmart.com. This might not work here at the moment. Oh, I have to log in, so we might pause this here until I log in. So the second way of doing keyword research is using Helium 10 Cerebro. For that, there are two ways to use it. The first approach is that you can use XRay from Walmart directly, or log into Helium 10 and use the Cerebro. I'm gonna show you how this works. So we are at Walmart.com. We are searching for dog vitamins for the product that we want to do keyword research. Next, if you have the extension, you go to Helium 10, click on X-ray. X-ray is going to show you the products on this page. What are the sales? What are the review? What is all the information about the products that are on this page? What usually I do is that I go with the sales, sorting, descending with the sales, the number of sales, not the revenue, because that brings the question of what the pricing is in the picture. I don't want to do that. I want to go based on sales volume. And our approach is going to be that ultimately we are going to do a reverse ASIN on these bestsellers to understand how they are generating sales, what keywords they are ranking and generating sales. So next step here is that you got to choose the products that are highly related to your products. So bestsellers highly related to your product. In this case, let's assume all of these are highly related to my product, but you have to go one by one and make sure these are exactly your product, right? If you are searching for, if your product is dog vitamins, you don't want to go and look for salmon oils or something that is not related to your product. So I'm going to choose 10 products from here. Let's go with 10. Okay, we have 10. Click on Run Cerebro. Now it's going to take you, X-Ray will take you to Cerebro. You see this item numbers here. You can manually, as I mentioned, manually you can come to Helium 10. If you have these item numbers, you can input here and click on Get Keywords, which will show you all the keywords that these products are ranking for or indexing, right? At the moment, it is 709. It's not that huge number of keywords, but it doesn't mean all of them are related. We need to do some filtering here. So a few of the filtering I might do would be, okay, show me, I just want to see anything up to 300 search volume, minimum 300 search volume. The few other filters that are very important for me is this. I would say I want to filter, right? Filter to the keywords that are highly related to these products. I would say, show me any keyword that my competitors ranking between 1 to, let's say, 40. I'm assuming there are 40 keywords, 40 products on page 1. I'm not sure about the number of products on Walmart on page 1, but let's assume that's 40. So I'm asking that filter all these keywords to the keywords that one of these competitors, that these competitors ranking 1 to 40 for the keyword. Now the next filter tells that how many of these products do you want to rank here? What is your minimum or maximum threshold? Some might go with 3. They want to say, we want to get the highest relative keywords, because if they are at least 3 or 4 products ranking on page 1, it means it is highly related. There are cases I would go even with 1. And the reason is that I'm saying, if when I go with 1, actually sometimes I do 2 type of research, right? I would go with this, at least 3 of my competitors ranking on page 1. There might be some keywords you would be missing if you do this. Sometimes what I do is also, this is my secondary option, right? It's a complementary. I'm not saying do this or that. You could do both of them. I would say, show me all the keywords that at least one of my competitors ranking on top 10. So what happens here is that my thought process is that even one of my competitors ranking on page 1 on top 10, it means that keyword could be highly related, and I want that keyword, right? That's my thought process. And there are many branded keywords that you might get from here that you can remove. Let's go back. So 40 with 3 at least ranking, apply the filter, and you have all these keywords narrowed down. You see the search volume, sort by search volume, so you can see what these keywords are, right? What we do in next step, we export this data to Google Sheet or Excel. From Google Sheet or Excel, we go one by one over all these keywords to make sure that the keywords are related. For instance, hip and joint, right? Is your product related to this or not? So there are all these dog allergy. The reason we are seeing these keywords is that when I was choosing the product, I didn't look. Probably the reason that I'm getting different type of keywords are some of these products are allergy related products. I didn't go there to really narrow it down to make sure products are highly related. But that's one step that you have to do to get more accurate keywords here. So you put this filters, and after doing this, export this, go and review these keywords. Don't blindly say, okay, my keyword research is done. No, it is not done. Make sure you review them. You remove the ones that are not related. There might be some like this one. I think this is brand related. Branded keyword. There might be some branded keywords at the initial phase of launch. If you are just launching your product, I won't go after branded keywords, but later, as you become more mature, as you have more reviews, I start testing my competitors' branded keywords to see if I can generate sales from those keywords. So the third way is that when we are creating campaigns and you are choosing your product, Walmart is going to suggest you some keywords. Those are the keywords that you can use. And I will show this when we are going over creating campaigns for a sponsored product. And the final way is actually Walmart has a keyword planner that for some of products might work, for some of product might not work based on how much data Walmart has, but I find this very powerful, and I feel like this is a great tool just to do directly keyword research if you can get, if your product has access. So what you do, you click, you input your item ID that you want to do the keyword research for, and you select the product. So this is our product, we select it, click on add item. What is amazing here is that Walmart gives you the keywords, and not only that, first of all, here on the first column shows you the normalized query and raw query. What normalized query and raw query is, for instance, if a keyword, you have a search term of dog vitamins and dog vitamin, Walmart doesn't give you both as the query, it just gives you the dog vitamin. It takes the S. So it is normalizing the query for you. It is a step that we are usually doing with Amazon manually, but here Walmart does that for you. And it shows you also the raw query, that what that raw query is that we are normalizing. So you are looking at this normalized query. On the third column, it shows you the item keyword frequency. It is pretty similar to brand analytics on Amazon. That not brand, actually, this is close to search query performance. Traffic keyword frequency is close to brand analytics search top search terms. So here, the traffic keyword frequency, it shows you that how popular that keyword is, how popular in terms of searches from customers. And in item keyword frequency, it shows you how many times your product is showing up for that term. So if I want to just simplify this, your best keywords will be keywords with the keywords which are high traffic, or in case, actually, let me see if I can find any high. This is a high traffic keyword. And if it is highly related, it shows you that you are not showing up that much. It's not high frequency for your product. So it means you have a good potential here to target this keyword, right? And it would be even better. There's a high traffic keyword with low item keyword frequency, meaning
Right.
you are losing some sales there if that keyword is highly related to your product. So you export this from there, you work, and you can download this. In my opinion, if you can find this for your product, for your item, it's the best keyword research you can do. But we talked about other ways
But
to.
we always like data that's coming directly from the platform. It's, I think it's always going to be more reliable than a third-party tool that is trying to,
Right.
estimate. And the nice thing is, like, this also doesn't just shows you the high search terms, but it shows you sort of where there's opportunity for your brand. A medium traffic keyword with low visibility, right? Great opportunity to make sure that we are targeting and that we have visibility around that keyword. So I like this. Did they allow you to download this too, Mansour, I'm assuming?
Yes, they can download
Yeah,
this.
that's
Export
great.
this.
You can kind of filter out for those opportunities you want to
Right.
do.
And it doesn't show me how many keywords there are, but it's a lot of keywords. So I
Yeah,
think for the start, it's more than enough. Not all keywords in the results will be relevant to your campaign needs. It's important to review the results and choose the ones that are the best. So you have to go over all the keywords, make sure they are related. Here are some reasons why keyword listed may not be relevant to your items. Or if I want to rephrase this, what is the reason if you are targeting a keyword related to your product, but you are not getting any impression with your advertising? The item taxonomy may be mapped incorrectly. So that one is that maybe you are in a wrong
category
category,
or
wrong
subcategory.
subcategory. And from our understanding, Walmart is very, very kind of narrow down in terms of if your category is wrong, the keywords, you're not going to show up for the keywords. In Amazon, to some extent, it is solved, but we also see this issue, but Walmart is not there yet. If your subcategory is a different subcategory, you won't get any impression for the relevant keywords to your product just because you are not in the right category. So check that. And the next is items product type may be mapped incorrectly. That is from the Walmart Central side, that you have to check that product type and make sure it's a correct product type. Otherwise, you might not get impression for some of the keywords.
Great.
Then we have you have done your keyword research. We have a different match types, exactly same as Amazon. We have exact, phrase, and broad. For exact, your ad is served only to the Walmart customers who search your exact keywords or phrase. So whatever you are targeting, search terms will be triggered for exact same keywords, phrase. Your ad is served to Walmart customers whose search includes your exact keyword, phrase with additional words before and after. After this slide, I have an example. I'll show you what that means. And finally, we have this for the broad, that your ad is served to all Walmart customers who search your keyword phrase, regardless of word orders or the presence of additional words. In the next slide, I'll show you what that is. Walmart will convert all your keywords into normalized keywords, as I mentioned. For instance, if you add gift cards or gift cards with Z at the end, or misspelling of the keyword, all of them Amazon considers and will be normalized to gift cards. So if you target all these three in your campaign, in reality, you're targeting just this gift card for the purpose of advertising. Other than that, for organic results, that might be different. Same scenario for Amazon. So example of exact match, your keyword is chalk marker. So we said it's going to be the exact same keyword, chalk markers, because we mentioned about normalizers. So having S or not doesn't matter, plural. The chalk marker, it doesn't. Actually, I'm not sure about this, but I'm pretty sure Walmart considers this as normalized of the chalk marker. Ineligible, any things that if you change the order, if you add keywords, it's not going to get triggered for those ones. Phrase, let's say you're targeting ankle brace as phrase. Eligible ones are adjustable ankle brace before and after, as you can see. We can add, but the same phrase and exact should be in the same order. Ineligible would be when you change the order or when you add any keyword in the middle. And finally, yes?
Yeah, and one thing to note, kind of like we said before there in the previous one, or here you had braces, right? It's still going to show ankle braces.
Right. And finally, broad. The eligible one, pretty much everything is eligible unless these keywords are not in the search term, in the query. So adjustable brace for ankle lace brace, you can change the order. But here, the reason these are ineligible because this doesn't have ankle and this doesn't have the brace.
So Mansour, to ask a question that maybe those that are more knowledgeable on ads will know, maybe those that are newer may not know. If that is the case, why not just target everything in exact match and just target the words I want to target? Why use the other match types?
Use other match types because first of all, for discovery purpose, right? To see other search terms that being triggered and target them again in exact and other match types. So for discovery purposes, because every day customer comes up with new way of searching for product. If you do a keyword research, you're not necessarily covering all the products because customers come up every day with new ways of searching. This is good with broad and phrase. You can discover new keywords. And second is that you get more placements. You might see better performance with broad and phrase. Exactly works the same as Amazon. We don't really recommend to just target exact. We want to make sure we are getting more placements. We want to sure anywhere that we have efficiency, we want to be there. So there's no reason only focus on exact.
Yeah, so if you think about it from a fishing perspective, it's if I go fishing, I could throw a net that is super large and I get a huge area of the pond. And within the pond, maybe I'm looking for salmon, but there's also trout and other fish, and I might attract those, that the stuff that I don't want, but I have a big selection, and that's broad, right? And then phrase is like in between, and exact is like I'm going for a very specific area, only where the salmon are fishing, or I see salmon there, but I'm not maybe getting to other salmon because I'm not expanding my reach, right? So you have the benefit of being very targeted, but we also have the benefit of greater reach, and that is the balance between the three different match types.
Right. Okay. Now let's go to the sponsored products ad. What I'm going to do here, actually, before getting into this detail, I want to go to the Walmart ad platform. So this is the platform. And on the main page, before getting into creating that, I'm going to just quickly tell you what we are seeing here. This is the first dashboard. You see the performance of your campaigns. And here in terms of one thing which is pretty different from Amazon is that you can select what type of attribution you want. They have 3-day attribution, 14-day attribution, and 30-day attribution. While on Amazon, through through advertising console, we get 7 days attribution for the sponsored product and sponsor display, the sponsor brand. We get 14 days for the sponsor display. We get 7 days.
I
But
love
here,
this feature.
what's that?
I love this feature.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. That's a very great feature that you have access and you could decide what attribution
So,
you want to like.
so Mansour, like just for interest perspective, we're looking at this account. Let's look at a 30-day data. Like let's look from like March to April, the entire month here. And let's look at the difference between the 30-day attribution where we had $10,392 in sales, 1.92 ROAS. And let's compare that to a 3-day, just as an example. See how different or not. They're pretty different.
Around 500, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if you look
So
at 14 days, it's
similar.
pretty close. What was
And
1034?
that's because most people are in that buying window of 0 to 14, probably then
Yes.
14 to 30 days. But you get an idea of people like longer attribution allows me to really see the benefits of advertising that I don't see on a shorter attribution window. It also allows you to see when people are making that decision, if you want to retarget, et cetera, and do some other things. But I think it's a great feature.
Yes, absolutely. And I love how they show data. I think in terms of graphs and the way visually the dashboards they are looking, it's much better than Amazon. It's more intuitive and I really like enjoy just looking at it. That's the good part.
Look,
So
Walmart has the advantage just, in seeing like, okay, what has Amazon done? And like, how can we make it nicer? How can we make it better? Or whatever, right? So they're not first to market, and so they do have this opportunity to come with improvements, I think.
yes. So here you see the performance and there are different metrics. We are not going to go over these metrics now. Then you can select which metrics you want to look at. They have all these metrics here, the performance-based metric, conversion, or anything that you want to add. Then they give you some improvement suggestions, recommendations, talking about keyword research. Walmart itself suggests you keywords that they have it here. And if you, it's just some of the ad groups they recommend, but if you download the full report, you can see more keyword suggestion from Amazon that, okay, we see potential for this keyword in this ad groups. Those are the ideas you can do for keyword research. Out of budget campaigns section, if there's anything, top campaigns by ad spend, it's very good. Just in that main dashboard, they show you
Right.
that here are your top campaigns and here's the performance.
Right.
And the section are not important. Next, we go to campaign management, which here we can see the campaigns and the performance. We are going to talk about it. We see the keywords, all the keywords from your campaigns. It's equal to target tab from Amazon that we see on advertising console. The keyword, the tools that we have, the keyword planner we talked about.
Mhm.
Then we have the rules, which you can create some rules for optimization. I'll quickly touch on this at the end as well, that what are the options there. Reporting, all type of reportings here. From here, you can go to Seller Central, Video Manager, which you can access to all your videos that you have uploaded, and finally bulk operation. Now let's go back to creating our first campaign. We go to all campaigns. What we are seeing here, let's just discover what there is. The daytime, whatever daytime you're choosing, let's say we go with 30 days. I love this. I hope Amazon adds this. And what it does is that give me this time period and compare these data with a certain time period. Let's say it could be with the previous period, or it could be with last year or anything random. This is very interesting. Actually, after I go over this, I'll show you how this looks like, but let's go just without comparing for 30 days. Amazon has attributed data first. When you look at, there are two views here.
Amazon or Walmart?
Walmart.
Walmart.
We have talked so much about Amazon that. So Walmart has attributed data. When you click on attributed data versus near real data, you can see that the data are changing. I'm gonna talk about that. But when we look at near real time data, it just shows you that here is these campaigns are live, total remaining budget of the campaign. So what is happening right now? That any data that Walmart can provide you, right? Ad spend, average cost per click. For some reason, it's not showing anything, but let me sort maybe. Yeah, there you go. So this is happening right today. This is live, right? Even this is not selected. So this is the results of today. Now, when we go to attributed data, you just choose the time period that you are looking at. Now here, we have some metrics. We will be talking about what metrics we have. And I guess you can choose 4 at a time, 3 at a time. So you can choose 3 at a time on the chart. You see all of your campaigns here and the data regarding your campaigns, what type of campaigns are. Back here, you choose the attribution we discussed about. You have the filter of which type of campaign, the status filter you can use. And finally, they have a good filtering system as well. That do you want to filter by name? Just tell us, starts with, contains with, this is something Amazon is missing. We don't have it. And I love that they have caught all these pinpoints that advertisers have, and they have added here in their platform.
So a tip here is to make sure you have the naming structure that will allow you to utilize this in the best way possible. For example, maybe in Walmart you have the item ID, right, in the campaign, or a product name, or right, however you want to, the ad type, right, like that you're running in the titling of the campaign, to make sure that this can help you with filtering.
And with the system that they have added, start with, contain, equal to, you can do any type of filtering and narrow down to the campaign that you want. When you do that, let's say, for instance, contains ranking, right? We don't have this here, but you apply that and everything is filtered based on that. So these are the different type of the filters. And down here, you have performance filtering. These are different filters for filtering the campaigns. Now you have the performance. What is my ROAS? Let's say anything that my clicks are greater than 20. So if you click on apply this, you're just going to see the campaigns that have, based on that filtering, they have it. And here are everything that you see we have here. Okay, that is that. Let's clear this out. Down here, you could, in the setting, you can add any metrics. Just simply, you can click from here to remove it, or you can move it. This is another thing that I like about this. It's very intuitive, easy to work with compared to Amazon. You can, email notification is pretty good.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yes, receive out of budget notification. So they email you. Amazon sometimes does that, but it gives you it emails you when it's getting out of budget, and finally downloading here. Okay, now that we know what is happening in this all campaign dashboard, let's create our first campaign. It starts with the name of the product. I'm gonna put a sponsored product. So yeah, the naming, let's actually talk about the naming. Usually the way we like to do it, item ID, right? What is the item ID? I think that's a good way to start it. Or item, I would say brief description, right? You don't want to put the whole item if you are selling dog vitamins for dogs or whatever, the whole title. Maybe just brief it in summary, write what the product is. So it's not like you are creating a long campaign name. then what I would do, I would say, what type of campaign this is? This is a sponsored product campaign. Next, I would say that, okay, we have two type of sponsored product, automatic or manual. So is this automatic or manual? Let's say we are going with automatic, either write automatic or manual. So that is it. Or if I want to go with manual, I would just write manual. And what is the match type? I try to be very as narrow as possible, as granular as possible to understand what the purpose of that campaign is. So exact, and then you can have a brief the summary of what the campaign is about. So that's the naming. Let's remove this. This is going to be actually auto. So you choose your ad type, which we are going to go with the sponsored product. We have two type of targeting with sponsored product, automatic, manual. With automatic, Walmart is going to decide where to put your product. It's going to be in the item pages. It's going to be in search page, in my item order page. So in different placements, Walmart will decide where to put it. You have some control, which we are going to see that. In the manual, you decide, you target the keywords that you want your product, your item to show up. So you have the control here on what keywords you target. In this case, in auto, Walmart is doing it for you. So the start date, usually the same day we're creating is the start date. If you want to decide end date, you put the end date. Sometimes if you have a certain events coming and that campaign is specific for that event, you can go with the end date, but most cases we just pause it if you want, so there's no end date. Total budget, you can, this is something that Amazon doesn't have it. It says, let's say my total budget for this campaign is 1,000, but I want this to be spend max $100 per day. So you have both of them. That what is the total budget? What's the daily limit? On Amazon, we only have in campaign level, we only have this daily limit.
And is generally, I mean, is the best practice really to just use a daily limit since you are kind of going indefinitely?
Yes, I would say that's what I would do. But there might be a situation that for any reason you have a limited budget per month.
Right.
You're saying, okay, this is my threshold. I don't want to pass this. So sure, you could use total budget. We go to the bid multipliers. This is optional. And from here, I have a table showing this. But with auto campaign, you have control over 4 placements: buy box, searching grid, homepage, and stock up. It pretty much shows you where auto campaigns also showing up, right? So you have a base bid, which we are going to talk about. Let's say your bid is $1. If I put here 100, I'm telling that I'm okay to go 100% higher than my bid to get to this placement, which it brings your bid to $2, right? For homepage, maybe for searching grid, I would say I'm okay with increasing my bid up to 50% for searching grid. So if your base bid, which we are going to assign later, is $1, you get to the auction for this placement by 1.50. It's increasing 50. So you have option to control these budget to bids. And this is the another good part. You have control over where to show which platform to increase your bid, desktop, app, or mobile. This is very cool. Amazon doesn't provide this. And one approach would be that maybe you have, for any reason, you want your ad just to show up on mobile. What you could do is that you bring your bid down and you increase your mobile placement higher, 100, 200, 300, just to force for those placements, your bid is higher. For the other ones are pretty low, so you don't show up.
So you have your base bid at 5 cents or 10 cents, whatever the minimum is, and then you increase it, 1,000% or whatever.
Just one thing I would add here is that on Amazon, we see that sometimes Amazon doesn't apply, or the way we want it doesn't apply this bid multiplier,
Right.
I would say you should test this, right? Don't go really drastic of 5 cent, 900. Maybe start with 50 cent, 70% increase, right? 50 cents, 80% increase. Just play with that and see how far you can get this bid down and the percentage up.
And I'm assuming when you have your placement reporting and platform that you're getting this data back so you can see where the performance is, and then you can also optimize to
Yes,
it.
actually, they have a very cool dashboard that it shows apart from the reporting that we will talk about. And another point that I wanted to mention, if you are aiming to have this for mobile, just keep that in mind. You can say, okay, here,
Right.
add
Mobile
MB to show that this is the placement that you are aiming
focus.
for, or
Uh,
search and read, the same thing.
Got it. So I don't know if this is a best practice, but maybe one way is to just start out the campaign at a certain bid, see where your placements are, see if you're getting buy box, or if you're not getting. If you're not, maybe you need to increase that. Or if something's performing very well, maybe there's room to push. And if something's not performing very well, then you can have maybe that structure where you have a lower bid but a higher placements for others and not for that one, or etc. Right? So you can
Definitely.
a lot of
Great call out.
opportunities here.
Great call out. Don't assume anything. Start with running your campaigns, see the results, and from there decide what type of changes in placements or
Right.
the multipliers you want to do.
Right.
We are done with the campaign setting down here. Now we are going to the ad group, creating ad group. What is the name of your ad group? And same as Amazon, you can have different ad groups under the same campaign. So we are creating at the moment one ad group. I would say this is, let's say, auto, or whatever you are putting, auto ad group. Since we do our naming structure in the campaign level and we have one campaign, one ad group, usually we just leave our something
Now, I
broad.
guess I mean, again, we wouldn't say it would be a best practice because we would probably have separate campaigns since your budget is ultimately tied at the campaign level, not the ad group. But you could do a mobile ad group auto, a desktop ad group auto, see which one performs better. But ultimately, I think it's better to have separate campaign and then give each one a budget, and then it's kind of easier, I
Well,
think.
we can't do that, right? Because the bid multipliers in campaign level, so you can't narrow down to
Oh, we cannot.
certain, yes.
You cannot narrow it down at the ad group level.
No, because it
Got
is in the campaign level, not ad group level.
Got it. Okay, so what you could do is then on the match types, etc., and keywords, but we would probably do that in separate campaigns.
Right. Next, we add the item. Probably we are gonna blur this and many other places that you don't see we don't reveal the brand. But here there are a few ways that you can search for the item. Either put the brand name, or you can put any random name that is in title, any keyword that is in your title, or any item. You can copy paste directly the item, and when you search, you see that. But in this case, I'm gonna search the brand name so I can see all the products related to that. Thank you, nothing showed up. Maybe I made a mistake. Oh yes, there you go. So we have all the product guys here on the left. You can see that this is list of product. It shows the item name, item ID. So every row is one child. We call it child. I don't know what we should call it here, but one variant. And now I'm gonna give you some insight what is different here from Amazon, which is interesting. But before getting to that, you can add this from here. And when you are adding, Walmart is asking you, do you want to add this item, or do you want to add all the variation of this, right? Same way. So in this case, we have 47 variation. It says, do you want to add all the variation? So this is the same as Amazon, but here, this is what I liked, is that add a specific variation. When you click on this, now Walmart is filtering and bringing all the variants. So it just filtered everything we see here is variant of that product. Now let's say I'm adding few of these variations here. Now, what becomes different here from Amazon is that you can bid in auto campaign per proper item. We don't have this on Amazon. On Amazon, you add your products and you have a bid for the
Targeting.
ad group or for the different targeting in terms of close match, lose match. But here you can define, okay, for this item, I want to bid 1, for this item, I want to bid 1.5, and this one 80 cents. So you can define what your bid could be for each item.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yes.
What's a use case for this?
The use case for this, I would say maybe one of them is probably, well, if you ask me, I would say we shouldn't do this because it's like very difficult to control it, and maybe adding one of the best hero product is here better. But maybe one of them is performing when you are optimizing, you see the performance, right? You see that, okay, the ROAS for this item is low, so you bring the bid up to see if you can
Right.
increase sales. For the other variation, the ROAS is bad. Instead of pausing, what we do
Right.
in Amazon, because you don't have control over bid, you just bring the bid down. That is it.
Makes sense.
Launch campaign.
How about any best practices for, in general, launching a campaign? You have, 5 variations, 10 variations. How would you go about it?
So 5 and 10 variation. My recommendation is the same approach we recommend for Amazon. One is there are different ways to look at it, right? You have a product that there are some general keywords that it can identify all of your variants. For instance, if you are selling t-shirt and customer looking for the t-shirt for men and that's your product, what I would do for these type of keywords, I'll target them and I advertise my hero products or the product that I know it's performing good. So if you have the data, you know that. Or if you don't, you can start with all of your items. But usually it's that for these general keywords that imply for all the variations, I'll put 1 or 2 of the hero products. Now, as we narrow down, there are some specific keywords. For instance, white t-shirt, right? I don't want to advertise my black t-shirt for that. So I have a campaign targeting this keyword. We are going to go to manual next because we can do keyword targeting. So for those keywords, I'm going to target the black variation. For white related t-shirt, I'm going to target the white variation. So it becomes very specific to color, to the different attributes of the variation you have. In terms of auto campaign, what I would do, I'll just add 1 to 5 of, this is a kind of product with so many variation. I might go 1 to 5 of my hero products and not add all the variation. The ones
Right.
that I know based on the sales selling more.
Right.
If you are coming from Amazon, I would say whatever is performing on Amazon, probably you have the same pattern here.
Right. And there are different strategies, right? For example, if you have different pricing and your variations like sizes, again, similar strategies to Amazon. Maybe you advertise the cheaper product, get people into the listing, then maybe they upsell themselves, different strategies. Or maybe in your niche, higher price attracts people. That could be also. So different strategies there.
Right. And one point here, if you don't want to launch, you can save this as a draft and come back later, continue. Otherwise, if you are done, just launch it and it's good to go. Let's go back up to manual targeting now. Discard and switch. Okay. You go to manual, same section that we had, nothing new here. Now you notice here that these changed. And by default, the search in grid is on, right? Item carousel, we didn't have it. Actually, let me again check what we have. Search grid, stock up, homepage, buy box.
Right.
With manual, you see that you have search carousel and item carousel that we have in there.
So this is great because I would think then that you should set up a separate campaign for each of these, and then you get much more granular, like turn one off, turn one on, the rest off, right? And do that 4 times. And the only difference is, allocating budget. You have to allocate budget to each one of them, but it allows you to see specifically what's happening with that placement and
Right.
if that's worth scaling up or down.
Yeah, that granularity works everywhere, right? With advertising, Amazon, Walmart, doesn't matter. If you want to see good results, it means you have to go more granular. But if at the same time, if you are spending $10 daily, I
Yeah,
won't recommend to add like
right.
uh, different campaigns for them. What I would say, turn all of them on, and based on the data that you see, optimize or pause the ones that are not working. Otherwise, in terms of optimization, you might not be able to do it directly because, as you see here, we just have the placement multiplier for searching grid and buy box, not
And
for carousel.
Mansour, you can't turn off the searching grid, right? Seems like.
No, no, you
Right. So
can't.
if you do run separate, you again might have to do this strategy. Like
Right.
if you're gonna run item buy box on its own and you have search and grid, then you could have a low bid and then just increase it for the item buy box because it doesn't seem like you can run the other ones by themselves.
Correct.
But search and grid is going to be probably where you get the most clicks just because that's most visible. So I think that's the most important one to isolate ultimately.
Yes, 100%. So same that we talked about. Now we have the ad group. You put the ad group name here. Let's add a product. If I scroll down, there is no products here. Now we are going to add product, and you see that Amazon for why what is wrong
Yep,
with me every time? There you go. Okay, I'll add this product, and if I go down, I'm at Walmart is suggesting you all these keywords, and you go over them. There is actually there's a download CSV, so you can download this, clean it up, and maybe some of them you add based on different, because the basic structure that we think is add all the keywords in exact, have one campaign for exact, one campaign for phrase, one campaign for broad. So what you could do is download this, clear up your keywords, and anything that you want to add as exact, you can add here. There are suggestions for
which by the way,
keywords.
this is sort of works in your favor in the sense that what do I mean? Well, it seems from here Walmart does not necessarily know or encourage this best practice of having one match type per campaign, which means that a lot of your competitors who maybe are not, let's say, don't have the same level of experience will just be doing this. They'll select keywords. One, they'll select keywords and add them in all match types. They won't have a level of control you will have. And two, maybe they won't pay attention to that additional keywords, which comes from doing that keyword research, etc. Right? So again, the more you know, the more advantages you have in terms of how you are setting up your campaigns.
Yes, great point. So after adding your keywords all in one match type, as we mentioned, you have the suggested bit, you can change this bit here. And if you have any additional keywords, you can add up to 100, which this is interesting. Walmart has learned this from, I think, Amazon sellers, that
Yes.
they actually mentioned that we don't recommend adding more than 50 up to 100, more than 100 keywords per campaign. So kind of they are limiting that. Don't do that because you won't see good results.
Yep. And we would recommend even less,
Right.
but at the same time, if you, I guess maybe that's in one of the pages, we would say also you want to understand the search volume of those keywords. So like if you look at the previous data Mansour showed with the high traffic, etc., we would definitely take what you think are the highest traffic keywords. And again, there's tools that'll give estimations. You can also gauge from Amazon that if a person is searching for barbecue gloves and that's a high search volume keyword on Amazon, that it's going to be maybe not the same volume of searches, but relatively will also be a high search volume relatively on Walmart too. So we would recommend isolating those top search terms into their own campaigns and then grouping others in smaller groups, probably not 50 or 100, but smaller groups.
All right. Now, just to summarize this, the we have these placements here for automatic campaign. In automatic campaign, it could take all those placements. Yes, we didn't have control over carousels with automatic, but it doesn't mean that they are not showing up there. They are showing up there, and you have no control of controlling it in terms of bid placement, but they show up there. For manual campaigns, your ads can show up in searching grid. It could show up in sponsored products carousels. So right away, what you can see here, this personalized carousels just can get triggered from auto campaign, not from manual campaign. And
Yeah,
finally, stock up just could show up from automatic.
right. And remember, stock up is just vendor, right? So may
Right.
not see it, but
Yes, okay.
this gives you the reasoning. Again, we like to run auto because it's a good discovery feature, but also in Walmart, even more important because there's certain placements you can't get, which is not similar to Amazon.
Correct. So here are some things to keep in mind. To be selected, you must meet the following eligibility criteria for a sponsored product to run for any item. Product should be in stock, of course. Product is winning the buy box. If you don't have the buy box, it's not gonna the item won't be running for sponsored product, and product is published and available. About the total daily budget, not daily. Minimum is $50. You can't go lower than this. And for daily budget, your minimum is $10. On Amazon, we don't have this minimum. It goes less than 10. But here, you have to spend minimum $10 daily. Used daily budget will roll over. Unused daily budget would roll over to the next day. So if you have, let's say, $10 budget, but today it is spent $5. The next day, Walmart adds that $5, and they could spend more than $10. And any day.
So you could have and does it continue to roll over? Meaning, is the next day budget in actuality 15, where if you also spend 5, the next day budget is going to be 25 or whatever?
No, the budget will not exceed 2x the set daily limit. So if you have 10, the max that it could go is to 20.
Okay.
It can, spend more than that.
Right.
Actually, Amazon added some option that you could choose either 100% extra or 20% 25% extra.
Yeah.
So in this, I wanted to give just one example of how these placements work. Let's say for a campaign, you have 50% for buy box placement, 150% for desktop placements. How this bid is going to be impacted. So assuming your suggested bid is $1, the result would be this. For the buy box and on desktop, both of them will be implemented and sum up. So you have $1 multiply 1 plus 15 because of buy box, $1 multiply 1 plus 150 because of you are adding placement to desktop, and you end up with having $4 bid for buy box on desktop placement. So this is something that you gotta understand how much you could really
be careful. Be careful with what you're putting in there, essentially, and know what it means.
Right.
And they sort of compounds on top of each other if you have in two places. So.
Right. So we talked about this. Now, one thing that you're familiar with Amazon, you might be asking, oh, what happened about product targeting? Well, good news, bad news, there is no product targeting on item targeting on Walmart, but there is a way to show up there. So we have all this information here. Now I'm going to take you, hopefully you can see this. There are different ways that you could show up in item pages. Example 1, if you want to target shampoo item pages, but unsure of which items to specifically target, we are talking about, let's say, subcategory targeting here, right? Not necessarily item. If you want to target a category, start by targeting item pages based on data taxonomy using broad or phrase match. It could be any level of the hierarchy, such as beauty, hair care, or beauty hair care. Use the on-demand keyword performance report to identify the item pages. So long story short, what it says that if you want to target the items with your manual campaigns, you need to target those. If you target here, for instance, dog vitamins and supplements as broad, there's a good chance of you showing up on all the, you could be eligible to show up in the all item pages of these product.
Where is that in the targeting? If we go back into the console,
You just put this, you just put dog
As a
vitamins and
as a key-
supplement as a target,
as a keyword.
as a keyword.
Very interesting. So
Yeah.
you wouldn't think, let's say, even if you wanted to go a step above that, you wouldn't think to target dog health and wellness as a keyword, but that's a strategy to show up.
Right. If you go to dogs, you are just expanding your reach,
Right.
right? So that is that.
And do
Now,
you think that's okay as an exact match, let's say?
actually, this is what we are going to talk about here.
Yes.
If you know which item pages you want to target, exactly, if you want to take yourself to a specific item page, use the item title of the targeted item page as the bidded keyword with exact match. Such as, let's say this is the exact title of that keyword. Target this as exact, it's going to take you to the item page. Or use equate everyday as the bidded keyword. So if you target, this is the brand name, right? If you target the brand name, it's going to take you to item page of anything relevant to your product, but in that brand.
And
It's more product.
will you then also show up in the search results? Like in the
I believe so. If someone searches for the brand name, I'm sure you will show up. So kind of the control is less. I'm sure Walmart is going to add product targeting, but
Right.
this is what you could do, right? That either if you want to target this, there are a few ways. Either target the whole keyword as the whole title as exact, or target Zesty pause as exact, which it's going to show you in every detail page.
Right.
Right.
And
I haven't
perhaps
actually tested. We could test the item. I'm not sure if you target this item page, you would shoot. Probably you want
the item ID.
item ID. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a good test.
Yeah, I don't think you would show up.
Probably not.
Right. And your target your own item pages to ensure competitors that are not appearing. Same idea. If you want a certain item, put the title. If not, put your brand name so you are showing up in all your item pages. So that is about sponsored product. Let's go to sponsored brands. So sponsored brands, you have your logo, you have your copy, and the product shown up here. First of all, let's search here. If
And we saw before, we saw 4 products.
Right.
Showing.
It could show up to 4 products.
Yes. And the storefront page, right? The shop now goes to the
So
store.
now if you click here, it's going to take us to item page, right? And if you click on here, it's going to take you a different page, which we are going to talk about what it is, but this is the shop.
Right. And if you go back to that shop for a second, just curious.
If this brand sees us constantly clicking on their ads,
well, the good thing is
they will give your money back, refund you for those clicks.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And this is the shop. I'm just curious.
The shop.
Does Walmart have any competitor ads in the shop? I'm assuming no.
No, not as of now, and I don't think they would put any.
Right. I don't think so either. But
okay. This shop is pretty new, and most of the brands that I see, they have just simple shop like this.
Right. Basic. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to the campaign and then we come back here talk about this. Okay, let's go back to sponsored brand. We are creating a sponsored brand campaign. We talked about naming. Make sure you align your naming with what the campaign is. So there's just of course, manual campaign as of now, setting for the budget and scheduling. We have the ad group. What's the name of the ad group? So here for image and headlines, we are now working on the creative, right? Let's say the brand name is brand X. Headline, the best, you can write the best dog vitamin. I'm sure you can't use the best, but just for the sake of this video, add your headline ad. And for a headline ad, we suggest the same thing as Amazon. Focus on what is important for your customers, the benefits, the features, what your customer is caring for, and try to add them in the title to make your ad more appealing to the customers. You upload the image. This image is your logo. It is not creative. That would be a good test. Actually, I talked with one of our managers to test and put another type of image to see if Walmart catches it or not. But as of now, what they ask is the logo of your product. So next step is you should create a landing page. There are two things that you can add: search URL, browse URL. Now let's go back here. I have shown here how you can create this, and then we can test a few things together. The search URL, you put this subcategory here as a search query and your brand name and generate the click URL. Like if I want to do this for one of these products, let's say I want to show you how this shows up. Dog, anxiety, and comment. What is the brand name?
VetIQ.
The brand name is VetIQ. So if we do this and generate, let's see what shows up. So here it is. It's interesting, right? It gives that to the subcategory and just filters your brand and shows any products that you have in that subcategory. So as a customer, I can easily remove this and I'm back to seeing all the products.
But the downside is that you get that sponsored brand ad on top.
Yes, you see ads showing up here.
Right.
Now, the other solution, the other way that you could do is with browse URL. So you go to that browse URL, right? You select your subcategory. Let's select one. Actually, how can we get there?
Go back to the product there from the calming on the bottom. No, and
Well, what if I can select something from here. Let's go even to personal care, for instance, or oh my garden, mattresses. So I'm in the mattresses. Here you have that code.
right.
So I can find it. That's the code of that subcategory.
Right.
If you drill down,
right, that'll be next.
Yeah, that would be next thing, but let's go here. Just try with this one. And what's the brand name? Let's select the brand name here.
FDW.
FDW. Okay.
But this product is not in this category, so it's not going to work.
All right.
Meaning go back.
I can do that actually. Shop mattress by size. Let's see if this works. There is a status. This is the code of that subcategory, and we put the brand name.
MLILY you have.
Now I'm gonna go to one of
This
the
one?
organic ones.
Yes.
Xenos. There you go. So same thing. It goes to that subcategory, filters to your product. So
But
you
let me
put,
ask you a question. Let me ask you a question now. Um,
but I don't think you see ads of your competitors. This is your ads.
no, this is your ads, but are you going from a sponsored brand ad to getting a click on sponsored product on top?
What's the question again?
This is for running a sponsored brand ad, right?
Right.
And so,
Yeah, I get the point. Yes, that's a very good point, but that's the flaw is
right.
there.
So you might actually be generating two different ad type clicks
Right.
for this.
And one thing that I'm not sure of is how to link to the store. I don't know yet that. Maybe I can add something later here because some of them now running to shop now,
Yeah,
right?
maybe that,
Maybe it's
maybe,
something you have to run from store.
maybe, what if you put in that click? Can you just put in your own URL?
No, you can't. There are some, let me just add this URL. There are some type of like specific type that you can put here.
Like, what if you,
Let's
yeah,
see, might work. Yeah, it is working. I'm not sure if it's gonna
if it's going to
apply or not. Yeah,
reject it
but
when
it
you
seems
submit
like
it.
it is working. Okay,
Right.
so that is how you generate this. And if you don't have a store, you can use the search URL or
Right.
browse URL. The
Right.
rest is the same. You add your
So
product.
ideally you get away from all that. You just have it go to the store and you don't have those other ads, your own other ads. Like it shows a good reason why you would want to have it go to the store.
Right. Yes, exactly. And then you can add the
Products.
products. So for here, you can only add the main item ID. You can't add the variation from each listing. You have one main item. You can only add the main item. It's not like you can add variations here.
Okay. Interesting.
You could add up to 10 items to your campaign, but at the same time, just 4 of them will show up. So the max that Walmart is showing is
Right.
4,
So if you
right?
want better control, I guess you would only select 4.
Right. Other than that, if you add 10, it's gonna rotate it. One of them gets out of stock, it's replaced it.
Right.
So, and finally, you target your
Keyword.
keywords and you are good to go. Same applies here, that be granular, try to understand your match types, how you have one campaign, one match type. Even a good practice is that aligning your keywords with what your copy is for the campaign. Items must meet the following criteria to show in the sponsor brand ad placement. They should have the buy box, be published, be the primary variant and in stock. So that's what I was mentioning. You have to add the primary variant. You can add all the other variants. Category of both the search query and the item must match. So if you're adding a search query on the top, right, to what is it, to your URL, it should match with your item search query. You can't add different type
Right.
of products.
So this is good because on Amazon, your sponsored brand can show up if you don't have the buy box. So if you're, sharing the buy box with another person, your sponsor brand will continue to run no matter what. On Walmart, there's a guardrail for it,
Right.
which is good.
Yeah. Sponsor brand requires a minimum of 2 items per campaign to serve on all 3 platforms. The maximum number of items that can be added to a campaign is 10. Sponsor brand serves up to 4 items at a time on all platforms. And if only one item is in stock, let's say everything you added, it's out of stock, there's one item, the ad will only shows on mobile. It's not going to show up on desktop. So
So
that's
actually,
another,
if you wanted to control your ad only showing up on mobile,
you can do that.
you can add only one
There you
product.
go. You're getting tricks from Liran.
There we go.
Sponsor video, just a look of a sponsor brand. A video, it is in autoplay and you can pause on puns. It starts with being mute. Customers can unmute it. Can add or remove the caption. Then you have the product plus add to cart directly from your product.
Oh, that's cool.
Now, yeah, if I search here, do we have any?
So yeah, we saw it. So very similar. So you can click and go to the product page, or you can directly add it to your cart,
Yes,
right? Which
correct.
is other than that, very similar to an Amazon video ad.
Correct. Now let's go up. Check this one as well. Sponsor brand video, manual, define your scheduling and budget. What's your ad group name? Add your video. I'll show you on a slide of some criteria for your video. Select your
Products.
product or products up to 10 again, and primary item, right? I'm gonna add 3. But one thing that you have to consider, one product will be shown. So it doesn't matter how many products you are adding, one product is showing up. So it seems like Walmart is rotating it. I don't know what basis on. I
So
won't recommend adding different products.
right. So best practice would be to just have a separate video for each product,
If each product to be in control.
right? Separate ad for each product. Yeah.
Right. And finally, add your
Keywords.
keywords there. Okay. So here are some specs for your video. You can take a screenshot so you know what we have here. 5 to 45 seconds is the duration of the video.
Same exact as Amazon.
Right.
But
Few
best practices for Amazon typically are 15, 20 seconds and demonstrate something, show something right away. Don't get into logos, things like that. Capture that attention. You only have a second or two to capture it.
Right. So I'm going to go quickly over some definitions if you are not familiar, but if you are coming from Amazon, you know this. Bid is the maximum amount that you will pay for a click. I showed you in the campaign creation. Impressions are metric is a count of how many times your ad has been served to a user. So every time the customers are looking at this is being loaded, this is one impression. Your ad's getting impression when it's served to the customer. The number of times ads were clicked is called clicks, very obvious. Cost per click, the average amount paid for a click calculated as a total spend divided by the number of clicks. So how much your spend is for a target or campaign divided by number of clicks, it's going to be cost per click. CTR or click-through rate, the ratio of how often shoppers click on your product ad when displayed. So it would be clicks divided by impression multiplied by 100 because it is based on percentage. Conversion rate or CVR is the ratio of how often shoppers purchase your product after clicking on your ad. So it would be advertising orders divided by clicks multiplied by 100. That I missed it here because it's a percentage. We have return on advertising sales, which is ROAS, revenue earned from each dollar you spend on advertising, meaning how much you generated sales divided by advertising spend. So how much you generated revenue from each order. ACoS that Walmart doesn't show. I just added because we are talking about Amazon. This is a very important metric on Amazon. Advertising cost of sales, the percentage of sales spent on advertising, meaning advertising spend divided by advertising sales multiplied by 100. It's just, as you can see, they are pretty much vice versa of each other. So
Right.
that is it.
One question for you. I'm assuming it's similar to Amazon, but an impression does not mean a customer necessarily saw your ad, but it got served on the page, right? I'm assuming.
I don't have the answer for that. but the assumption is that all the product on this page, since the page loaded, they got impression.
Right. So sometimes, we've had this thing where trying to diagnose an issue and seeing like, why do I have such a low click-through rate? I'm running this particular ad or whatever. Well, maybe your placement's at the bottom of the page and
Right.
somebody's actually getting there. So
Yeah, for Amazon, we know for sure that all the impressions, even if you don't scroll down to the bottom of page, all the
count.
ads that are here, they got impression. In
Right.
Walmart, we should kind of investigate and get that proof. But even if you see lower CTR for those placements, it is probably that's the reason. And the
Right.
thing is that we don't have top of page, right? That we don't see that placement, so we can't necessarily understand.
Right.
So, okay, bid optimization. I'm gonna explain the thought process, and then we will go to dashboard. I'm gonna show you the different reports and take few minutes to explain you how we do optimization. Bid optimization is next. We are gonna talk about bid optimization, and after that, we will move to a Walmart console to talk more about optimization, about different reports that we see there. So when we are talking about bid optimization, the way we look at it is that there are three components to this. One is time, that when you create your campaigns, you don't want to optimize it right away. You want to give it some time for data to get attributed, for clicks to come in. So the first aspect is time. You need to give time to your campaigns to start performing, start getting data. Second is you need data, right? Kind of time and data also, they go hand in hand, but there might be situation that you have launched a campaign for 2 weeks, but you don't have enough data, you don't have enough clicks. When I say data, mostly I'm talking about the number of clicks you are getting, because that is it identifies how much data you have. And finally, the spend. Are you spending enough? Have you spent it to a threshold that you're like, okay, I want to start optimizing because there is all these aspects are in place. Now, looking at the targets, because we are talking about the keyword targeting, there are different type of keywords when we are doing optimization. Performing targets. This is ACOS, but on Walmart, we are gonna deal with the ROAS, right? So I'm talking about ACOS when we look at
Which is basically an inverse relationship.
inverse relationship between ACOS and ROAS. So if you have a keyword that is performing better than your target, in this case, if the ACOS of that target is better than your target ACOS, we are calling that performing target. If you have high ACOS targets or low ROAS targets, it means that the ACOS, the performance that it has, is worse than what your target is. So ACOS is higher than target ACOS, or ROAS is lower than your target ROAS. Non-converting targets are the ones that generating no sales. And finally, low impression targets, the ones that haven't got enough impression. Usually we say less than 500, but in different scenarios, they are different. So if your target is here, ROAS or ACOS, the good performing targets have a lower ACOS than in performance, they have a lower ACOS than your target ACOS. High ACOS targets are on the right, and finally non-convertings are here on the far left because they haven't generated any sales. They don't have any ACOS. They don't have any ROAS. It's zero. So for what we do for bid optimization, actually, I might have later on, we are recording this, but I might have our team to add another chart here based on the ROAS, because Walmart has the ROAS base. I took this from Amazon, but I'll add another screenshot. We will ask our team to add here based on the ROAS. So the way we look at it is
And
that
you should have a, to step back, just, you should have a target ROAS, ACOS for every product, because you will have different products that have different goals. The first thing is when you start on Walmart, you may not exactly know what, to expect. After, you'll see different results for different products. So you'll start maybe setting some goals. And you should not just look at your account level. You should really look at every single sort of listing and what is the ACOS and TACOS for that. And, make sure you have a goal around that, not just at the account level.
Yes, great. Yeah, great point. You have to have a goal for every item. So looking at this, just to summarize, if we have a non-converting targets, we want to do non-converting targets, the ones that not bringing any sales. So either you need more data to come, you don't have enough data, you don't have enough clicks, so you give it more time. Or if you have enough data and you are sure that target is not generating any sales, we usually do drastic bid optimization. There is this kind of silver line between, should I do drastic bid optimization or should I pause the target? We usually go for drastic bid optimization, but there might be cases that you are seeing that, okay, there is no way this target is performing, even if I change the bid, still not generating sales, getting clicks. Feel free, go ahead and pause it. So it's a judgment that you have to make on the spot based
And
on
I
the
think
data that you are seeing.
you have to consider a few things. You have to consider how relevant is that target to my product. If it's sort of, if I think about this like circle, is it in the bullseye or is it somewhere more somewhat related, but not exactly my product? And then make your judgment call also based on that too.
Right.
And enough data.
The next is that if you have the safe zone, I'm calling it anything that it is by 10% variant above or below my target. Target ACOS or ROAS, doesn't matter. As far as I'm close to my ROAS or ACOS for my target, I don't want to change the bid. I will leave the bid the way it is because it's performing. I don't want to play with it. If it is performing much better than expected, like here, if my ACOS target was 30, it is performing, let's say 10%. What we do, we try to slowly, very slowly, 5%, 5%, increase the bid and see, can we generate more sales from this or not? So that is where we are increasing the bid to understand if we can bring more sales through that if it's performing. And on the right side, we have high ACOS targets, or the targets, the keywords that performing worse than your target. We have some formula. I don't want to get you over this, but what we do as we are closer, yes, it is not performing good, but as we are closer to our target, we do lower changes, slower changes. As we go further from our target and it is worth, we are wasting money, we do more drastic changes. In this example, let's say I have a target with bid of 2.4 and cost per click of $2. The first thing that you have to consider is that when we are optimizing, we are lowering bid, we look at cost per click. And the reason is that, yes, bid is something that you are willing to pay, but in reality, what you are paying to get that performance is the cost per click, not the bid. That's why when we are lowering our bid, we look at our cost per click. So let's say we are very close in this point in 40% ACOS. Our target ACOS is 30. So even if it's ROAS, the goal is that the idea is that we are very close to that target. We just go 5% down. So our bid goes from 2.4 to 1.9. You might say, oh, this is a drastic change compared to 2.4. But no, what we are comparing is to cost per click, not the bid. So compared to my cost per click, I just went down 5% from 2 to 1.9. Now we are getting further here. We are getting to a criteria that, oh, we are wasting more money. So now we are becoming more drastic with changing the cost per bid. We went from $2 to 1.7. So we went 85% of our cost per click. One step further, it's like becoming very out of control, a cost of 90, it's very bad. So the change is much more drastic. We go 70% of $2 cost per click, which takes us to 1.6. So you can see every step when we are doing optimization, we become more drastic. Here we went to 1.9, 1.7, and in this point we are at 1.6. So you don't need to look at this formula. You don't need it. Just understand that closer, more granular, more smaller, gradual changes, further apart that you are getting, be drastic. And I have put this here. I'll try not to go more than 80% of cost per click at a time, right? Even if you look at here, 70% of 2 gives me 1.4, but I made it 1.6 because I don't want to go more than 80% of my cost per click at a time. I want to have a threshold that, okay, don't go more than this 80% because it's too much. We don't know what's going to happen. Let's go 80%, see what happens. From there, we do optimization again. Okay.
It makes a lot of sense. I think, doing the math on this is the most precise way to do this. But, when I first started managing my own ads, like 2015, 2016, I did this in the eyeball method, which is
Right.
basically, 60% ACoS, maybe my target is 30, my, cost per click was $1. Okay, I bring it to 75, 80 cents. Let's see, right?
Yeah.
Higher thing, I bring it a little bit more down. And you could do this in the eyeball method. Math is better, but this is, especially if you're starting out or whatever, you can make those changes. Don't make anything crazy drastic unless you have a insanely high cost. And then you want to mark down when you made that change, because you don't want to go back a day later, look at your results, and go back and again make that change, right? You want to then reset the time for looking, now having enough data since you made this change, and then going back and seeing what the impact of that change. And sometimes you might lower the bid where you just don't get impressions anymore, and depending on your results, you may want to test it up, to get to a point where you're still getting impressions. But the eyeball method could work well also.
Right. So that is everything. And last point, very quick, is that the campaign, the structure that we talked about, this is how you can create campaigns on Walmart, right, with different ad groups. And the budget is in the campaign level. What we mentioned, in order to have high control, because we don't know how these ad groups are performing, right? Even if this ad group is performing the best, there is no way for you to give more budget to this ad group.
Right.
Walmart is controlling where the budget to go. That's why we go with this structure, one campaign, one ad group, the items or products that you are advertising, and the targets. And in this case, we try to go exact one campaign, phrase one campaign, broad one campaign. But if you have a low budget, it has happened that for some clients, they want to start, like they say, okay, $20 is the budget I want to start with for the whole campaign for this product. We might mix exact phrase broad because we don't have much budget to play with. We want to see where we are getting the results, so we might mix them. That is all. Now let's go back to a few things here. If you go to the campaign, a few things that you have to understand. On Amazon, when you click on campaign, it goes you to the ad groups, to the keywords. But here, if you click on any campaign, it's just going to take you to the setting of the campaigns. So here are sponsored product, the budget, the placements, and the ad groups that it is showing you different ad groups if you have different ad groups. That is it. And the targets that you have added and bid. There's no way for optimization or anything. It's just mostly for the setting that you had if you want to change it. So that is one difference and what Walmart is showing you. Next is...
So where are you going to go? Where are you going to go to look at your targeting?
Here is you have your all keywords. It's showing you all the keywords related to your campaigns. Now let's do a few optimization, then we move on to other part of the tool. We talked about, let's first look at the product. Usually we look at 30 days. If you are doing once a week optimization, actually 2 weeks, I think it's a good point to be for. Products are selling enough, getting enough data. But if you have a product, and specifically on Walmart, that the clicks are less, it doesn't get much data on a daily basis. We will look at 30 days. Here, let's check out 30 days, and I will remove neglect the last 2 days, just data might not be accurate. So we said this is showing all the keywords. What's your suggested bid, match type, what's the campaign, what's the ad group, and you can decide what information you want to see here. For the purpose of optimization, actually, we are gonna check on, let's see, we have the row as, yeah, we have everything that we need. Clicks, CTR, average cost per click. Okay, we have all the metrics that we need. First, I'm gonna say, show me everything that didn't generate any sales. So my sales are equal to 0. Okay, these are the keywords that they don't have any sales over 30 days. I'll sort this by clicks. Okay, 26. This is a keyword that I have to decide, actually, is this a campaign? Yeah, the campaign is live.
Mhm.
So this is a keyword that the CTR actually surprisingly is very high.
Right.
Which just brings me, Liran, to the point that maybe Walmart still doesn't take into account that impression if the customer is not viewing. Because
Right.
there are surprisingly very, very high.
Very.
So yeah, probably
We
impression.
never see that. We never see, I mean, 28% CTR on Amazon.
Right, right. So here is what we are gonna do, right? I'm gonna say I have got 26 clicks. There is, and I have spent $9. The price of this product, honestly, I don't remember. Maybe it's
$30 maybe.
$30 or something. So you have to decide, do you want to continue with this? For this keyword, since I have some room, I might say, okay, I want to continue, give it a few more days. Because of the type of the product, the conversion rate for this product is really low. Like, let's say 4 or 5%, because it's a fashion product, customers looking at this. So I might go with the bid down. I'll look at what's my average cost per click, 33, and my bid is that. We have to get this lower than this cost per click.
Right.
So that's a decision. You might say, no, I'm good for now. Let's get more clicks and see if we generate sales. Or if you're spending high, your spend is past your threshold, you could just right away drastically optimize this and bring that to maybe 0.20. Keep that. I once noticed that I'm not sure if you have any bid multipliers here or not. So I'm just changing based on average cost per click. Yes, Liran, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, a few things I want to add. One, another some other things that are at play that you want to think about. Number one, when you see something like this, right now we're looking at a 30-day window. I might say, okay, let me go to a 60-day, 90-day, let me go farther,
Yeah,
because I want to see, did we get sales in the past for this keyword?
that's a great
Because
point. Let's actually look at it.
if I have not gotten sales and this has performed really poorly over a longer period of time, it might be time to just pause it. Okay. And this was long, maybe you could put in the keyword, right? It was long men long underwear, or long men underwear, or something, long underwear for men,
Right.
maybe. So we can search for it and see exactly what it was. I would want to look at a long-term history to see, because again, maybe it's time to just kill the keyword in general. Number two, also understand that where in the process you are, meaning this is a winter product and the season is now sort of over. So perhaps this performed during the season and it's not performing as well in the off season. In that case, since I don't want to maybe forget about this keyword and bring it back, I might lower the bid drastically and set some kind of reminder to bring this bid back up when it gets closer to the season. Last thing I want to mention is thinking about the relevancy of the keyword. The product here is thermal pajamas, for example. So long underwear is sort of thermals, but it may not be. It may just be that I'm looking for like a boxer brief, but I don't want something super short. I want something that goes closer to, the knees or something, right? So it's not 1,000% targeted. It's somewhat related. So all that has to be in your context. And don't just look at clicks or don't just look at ad spend. You have to look at both in the context, because I might be okay, even though this has a lot of clicks and the conversion rate might be low. I might be okay continuing on it if I think it has a shot, because we only spend $8 and the product is 30, and I might be willing to go to 15 or 20 to find out, especially if I don't have any other history on the keyword. So take all that into account, and then you have the right formula to make a decision. Ads management is art and science, and you need to take both into account.
Right. Yeah, well said. So as Liran mentioned, actually, yes, for these ones, we check 30-day, we check 60-day to make sure, or 90 days, we make sure that what's happening with that keyword. For instance, here there's a keyword with 32 clicks, no sales. As you can see, it is paused by the
Yes,
manager.
and with an exact match, it's an easier decision to pause because you don't have any other additional search term being triggered by the term, versus if it's a broader phrase and it has some sales attached to it, more likely I want to lower the bid and I want to add some negatives and things so that I can still have.
Side note, that's
Partner.
the downside. We don't have any negatives on Walmart as of now,
Okay.
so that's something we should consider as well.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so that is first one. Now the good performing, the ROAS is, let's say your good ROAS is 3. You want to look at anything that is less than 3. So I'll sort this by what is going on. Let's see. Okay, let's sort this by clicks as well. And by the way, I forgot to mention, in the not performing ones, there are the ones that they haven't reached enough clicks to be judged. So for them, we don't touch them. If they have 5, 6, 8 clicks, it depends what your conversion rate is. If they haven't passed your click threshold, just leave them for now until.
And I like on Walmart, especially since the cost per click on average is less than Amazon, even though it's also been rising over the last year, looking at the spend, because again, 10, 20 clicks, even though again, it could lead to a lower conversion rate, you could have still very low spend, so I think it's important to look at that.
Yeah, since I'm used to ACOS, I said less than. In reality, good performing is greater than
Right.
3. If 3 is our goal, greater than 3. Not sure why LastPass gives me that.
Yeah, it's weird.
Learn. Okay, we sort by clicks. Now here we take a look at, actually in this case, we are going to look at 40 days. 30 days, actually neglecting last 2 days. Yeah, I would recommend 2 weeks, but depends on your data and how much data you are getting. Clicks, so here it is, this product, it is 3.78, very good. And I look at the bid. See, my average cost per click is 68. My bid is 3.10. Even if I increase this, it's not gonna impact because I'm way above my bid. So I'm getting the full potential that I have. So in our case, it's your judgment. You don't need to change it. Next one, same idea is here, right? The ROAS is very good, and you're like, okay, let's see if we can increase sales, but cost per click is 38, that's generating this. Your bid is way higher, so you are getting the full potential. There is nothing more there. In this case, that's the same scenario, good performance, but the bid is still far from the cost per click. Even if you increase, nothing is going to happen. Seems like this is
and this is why you want to use your own brain, because look at the suggested bid that Walmart's giving you, $20. I mean, why would you want to do that when you have a average cost per click of $1.24 and you already have a $4 bid? It can get you in trouble. If one of your competitors wants to increase your spend, they could bid really high, and if you have that $20 bid, and you're not paying attention, you could start competing with them and not pay attention that suddenly your bid is very high. So use your brain when you're setting these things up. Don't just go for, Walmart's suggestions here, because it's not going to be additive to your strategy.
Yes. Now here's another example that at least we could do some changes. Our
Right.
cost per click, the performance is good. We have room to increase. Our cost per click is 94. The bid is $1. So in this case, I might say, okay, let's go 5% up just
Right.
for now to see what happens, right? Next time you could go another 5%. So I'll increase this to 1.05. I don't like that.
Yeah, doesn't go back to where you were.
Yeah, it doesn't go back to that, but that's the idea of this. So this is the good performing ones. Now finally you go raw ads of less than your goal, which is 3. Sort by clicks. Let's look at a few examples and move on to next. Okay, 2.5. It is not, if it was really close to my goal, I would have left this, but it is far from my goal. And at the end of the day, the question is that how much this keyword is important, how much bringing you sales. There is a lot of sales being generated with this. And I would say probably I would be okay with 2.5. This is where that is your judgment, right? But now let's just assume we want to optimize it. So our bid is $2. Average cost per click is 98. If I want to optimize it, and since I'm close relatively to my ROAS, I'll just go 5% down. From 98, I might go to 93, 90 cents for the bid. I don't see how I neglect the bid, because it doesn't matter. The way I'm getting this performance is with this cost per click, not the bid.
Right.
So I'll get this down to 90 cents. If I decide I want to optimize it and hit this keyword, I want just to make sure it gives me the ROAS I want. Same goes here. This keyword, it's at 2.18. I want to optimize it to bring it to 3. So I'm going to go lower than my cost per click. Cost per click is 1.08. I'll take this to $1, right? From 1.08 cents, I go to $1, neglecting 2.
And
Yeah.
one thing you might need to pay attention to, if you're seeing something that doesn't make sense. What's an example of doesn't make sense? A bid of $2 and a cost per click of $2.50. How can that be happening? Well, you might have a percentage increase for that placement. And so
Here it is.
if you have those, okay, there we go.
Yeah, like this is pause, but if you see that we have a cost per click of 314, but the bid is 1. So how, let's say no one has optimized it,
Lowered it,
nothing has
right.
happened. Yeah, no changes. So
Right.
the only way this could happen, it means you have a multiplier and you have to be careful how you are doing this. So if you want, yeah, let's say you have a 300 multiplier, 200 multiplier, instead of going to 3, if you want to optimize it,
Right.
the only thing you have to do is actually with this, you have to go
Ultimately, you have to lower your bid, but you should also understand what is your multiplier.
yeah, you have to understand what's your multiplier, and maybe you end up going to 0.3, right? 3 cents. So it depends on what your multiplier is that you have to optimize based on that. So that's it. The only point I would mention here, the keywords with low clicks, I won't touch them for now. I won't optimize them, and I'll let them be for now.
And this is where you can further filter, right? You can
Yeah, you could say add more filter,
you could try to look at a longer time period or whatever, right?
click greater than, let's say 15, for instance. Or in this case, we want to also say, because we looked at the zero sales, right? We want to say more than 0. Otherwise, you will see the same thing that 0
Right.
sales here as well.
Right.
Okay, so that's all about optimization. It's very simple for Walmart. It hasn't got that complicated like Amazon yet. Now let's move on to a few of these rule-based. So I'm going to cover a few things here very fast. This is very good. Create new rule. Please, whenever that changes. Okay. So you name your rule. Even they have notification only, that they just send you notification based on the rules that you are creating. Or increase budget, increase bid, decrease bid. Let's go with increase bid. It says how much, what's the measurement? Let's say I want to go with percentage. 5%, actually, let's go decrease. 5% decrease, and how much you want to go down. What's the minimum? I also don't go less than 25 cents or 30
Minimum
cents.
bid is 30.
Yeah,
Walmart
exactly.
doesn't allow it.
Yeah. Metric, select, let's say, anything with ROAS. If it is less than 2.5, for instance, and you can add more here as well.
This is awesome that they.
Yeah, and the clicks are greater than 15. So, and I like the fact that it is showing you what you are doing. So that's it, right? If we are doing this, optimize the value by target, by ad group, attribute to either do you want to do this for all ad groups or selected ad groups that you can add, or you could say all ad groups and exclude some of the ad groups. Now, here's the thing, what date range you want to look into and compare from, yeah, you want to do this daily, right? And compare to 7 days. What time period you want to compare this? For 30 days, every day, look at the 30 days.
Right.
And when do you want the rule to start? When do you want to end?
Right. And like Mansour said, you want to move slowly and carefully. That's why he has his thing at 5%, so that you're not making drastic changes every day. Because think about, and also I don't know that we would want to look at this daily, right? Because you don't want it to lower 5% every single day, right? So the way you really need to understand what you're setting up and what the effect of that means, right? We might do this weekly, for example, right? Or something like that, because it can't do it once, I think, but we might do this weekly because we don't want. What if it's going to look at 30 days? It's not going to lower 5%. Then it's looking at their same results except one additional day. You don't have enough data, so you're going to lower again 5%, right? So you want to make sure you're setting this up at the right cadence and monitor what the results look like.
Yeah, and finally, you have this emails here, right, that you can add to get notification. And as I mentioned, the changes are notification only, increase budget, decrease budget, and
that's cool too, because you could set up a rule just to be notified about something, which is also pretty cool.
Let's go quickly here to some of the reports and see what we have here. This is the time period that you want to look at the report. And actually, one thing that I was very interested to show, we forgot in this campaign, I wanted to see the compare. I wanted to show what the compare shows. So if you show this, and let's say we are checking March and showing up to comparing to February. Oh, the same
amount of days.
Yeah, there is one day. Is it 31 days? Sure.
Yeah.
30.
Okay, there you go.
29. So here, this is Amazon should add this. Right away here, you can see a increase in your performance of the campaigns.
Right. And here we have, again, season also, which is why we're seeing this.
Right. Yeah.
You want to make sure you understand that, but this is great. I love the fact that you can also go to how did we do? It's a summer product. How do we do the first week of the new season versus last year, the first week of the season, right?
Yeah. I haven't ever checked to see how far back it goes. That's another thing that to consider. Okay, so starting from here, daily performance. Walmart has great views for reporting. I love them for that. So daily performance, you add the metrics that you want to check. We have some metrics on. And here's one thing that I like about that as well. Conversion rate, they give you unit sold base or order sold base. So it is orders. This is orders divided by the number of units. This is orders, sorry. orders divided by number of clicks, yes. And here, units divided by
Do
number
you
of clicks.
have
This is a better number, conversion rate, orders sold, please.
That's what I was going to ask you. If you have a preference, I guess the only thing I would say is that if typically your product is people only purchase one and you had a fluke order, somebody purchased 30, you might want to look at units sold. But if otherwise, it's not uncommon for people to order 2 or 3, then you should look at the orders based, right? Most of the time, I think that's a better view.
Yeah, I think most of the time order is better because you want to see from each customer how much you
Ultimately,
converted.
orders is money and units is not, right?
Yeah, right. So
Or
yes,
or the opposite, actually. Units is money and orders is not, right? So
what do you mean by orders money?
meaning somebody who ordered once, yes, that's your conversion rate. If they order, meaning orders is somebody ordered 2 or 3, that's equivalent to X dollars.
Right.
But or if somebody ordered 2 or 3 on units, it's equivalent to X dollars. On orders, it's not, right? It's
So they
one,
can order one, they have one order, but 5 item underneath.
5 of the same item, right?
Yes.
So
Or 5 item, 4 or 5 of, yeah, same item.
right.
Not
So
necessarily. It could be different items.
different items from your brand, right?
You're from your brand. Yeah.
Right. I think it depends really what you're selling. If you're selling a product, like you want to take both into account, I think, in some way, because ultimately, what if a particular keyword, like you have a particular keyword or something that triggers multiple units, you want to double down on that, right? So
Right.
there's use case for both.
Right. Right. So you have the attribution 3, 14, 30, and in the graph you can see very beautiful. You can see what's happening, what's your ROAS, and love this part. They show you on a daily basis what is your performance for different KPI that you have added up there. So that's about that daily. Next, we have campaign performance that they show you what is you have your campaigns down here with the metrics, and they show you what is their performance. And here you have a pie chart of top performing campaigns, that how they're performing is doing based on impression. You can't check it. Anything that you see is just based on impression. This is not changing. So this first campaign is getting 19.75% share of impression, the total impression that you have got, plus the campaign. You could export this to CSV. Next is the discussion we had, page type, right? What is your performance for different places?
This is from an impression basis.
This is from impression.
Impression, click, CTR. I see. Okay, got it.
Yeah, and you can see here, down here, you see all the metrics that you need. Just now, if you click here, it's going to take you to it's going to take you to daily results of that.
Right, by
Daily results for this, but not going to tell you what the campaign performance specifically for that, as you have that in the on-demand report that you have to download, not here.
Right.
And platform performance, how are you performing on each platform? You have the CTR, look at the CTR on the app, 1.77, mobile, desktop, actually, it's not that good.
Right.
And you have the ROAS here, seems like the app and desktop having a better ROAS compared to the mobile.
Right, because somebody going on mobile website is just not the best user experience, right?
Right, yeah.
And if they don't have the app, it also shows that, maybe they don't shop that much or whatever, right, on Walmart, so.
Yeah, correct. Next is item health. We're not going to talk about this. This shows all of your items. What is the detailed page views? What's availability, or what's the listing quality, buy box percentage, which is good that they have it here. It just gives you some information about your item ID, and also what are the campaigns related to that. What is the primary variant that we were discussing? So you can see what those informations are. On demand, these are the reports that you could get from, actually, if you go to request report, you have keyword performance that gives you the keyword performance in each ad group, the same thing that we had in the dashboard I show you. Placement performance here shows you placement per ad group. So if you want to go granular, you can check that. Item keyword performance. This is very good, something Amazon is not providing us. It shows you that, so let's say you have a keyword in campaign with different items. Walmart is showing you the keyword performance for each item, right? But on Amazon, we don't have it. Amazon just aggregates that, says, okay, here's your performance for all these products. We don't tell you which product performed, but Walmart shows you that this keyword for this item, here's the performance for this item, here's the performance, even though it's from the same ad group. Item performance, how each item, each product is performing. History log, that's what changes you have done. Campaign snapshot just shows you the campaign data. Item recommendations, some recommendation about your product. Keyword recommendations. This is on the main page. If you remember, there was a snapshot of some keywords, but here you can download the report and see all the report for every ad group. You could click on that download report from the main page and see that. Performance of video, keyword performance of the video, attributed purchase report, that it shows what customer end up purchasing, right? Maybe they clicked on one product, but what is the product they ended up purchasing? And search term impression share report. For all the search terms, what is your share, top of the search share, what's your searching grid share, and what's happening in there. And in this keyword, when it says keyword, actually it's showing you search terms as well.
Right. So it seems to be like, looks like what we downloaded here, right? So it seems to be the most important report.
Right.
Is item keyword performance report.
Yeah. And custom, this is very cool. I'm going to start from beginning. This is very cool. Amazon, watch this, learn this. It's so it says, okay, you create the view that you want. So you're saying that, let's just start with fix. Relative is good, actually. I want to look at the 30 days data. Let's say week, 30 days, actually. Time shift, I'm going to add this later. So split this by, I would say weekly, right? I don't want to look at on a daily basis. What thing you want to look, what are the measures that you want to say? Give me my impressions. So look at it's starting, right? For that 30 days, showing me week over week. What is my clicks? What is my average cost per click? What is my ROAS? And what is the sales revenue? So even here, what it does, it tells you, it's showing me different attribution, but I'm going to give, let's remove them, it's too much data. Other SKU, even it shows you other SKU reports. Oh, sorry, you know what I did? The mistake was that underneath you have these stuff here, conversion rate 14 days. So, okay, anyway, long story short, you add this data. Now here, you can even say that for me, just go with you can say for match type, just show me the exact performance. So right away, you see the performance of everything here. Or I can remove this and tell me, split this based on the match types. And even I can remove the state. Now you are seeing your performance compared to different match types, what is happening. And here is the good stuff is, if I go, I don't remember how it was working actually, shift, period, overlap with the main period.
Maybe it's under fixed, and maybe it's
under here, April 29 to April 4, March 22 to March 28. So 1 week compared to the other week, it shows you the even differences.
That's great.
Right? Yeah, like there are many type of reports that you need to create. It
Right.
can show you directly from here. Or you want to see page type, go to a split, remove this. Right away, you can see what's happening in page type in different time period.
That's
So
great.
yeah, it's a great thing that they have put it. I wish
Yeah,
Amazon
we should come up with the best practices for the reports you should save, right?
yeah.
And what those
Uh
are.
and look at this. It shows you even chart as well, but depends for the chart. You have to add data. You could even see the chart for search for priority item, what is going on for every of these. There are too much data here.
Yeah, it's really great. It's like you'd expect some of this stuff to be only available through like software that people built, but the fact that
Yeah,
Walmart has it is great.
right. Yeah, that's it. Even you can say, do you want to group split or do you want to group measure? Like it split, it shows you one by one, or you
Right.
can mix it. It's amazing. I love this. There are so many reports that you can get like that. And
Yes.
that's it. That is pretty much
Amazing.
everything about
Certainly,
advertising. Everything you need to get started with Walmart advertising.
yeah, it's amazing. I certainly learned some things here. Really comprehensive, especially if you're coming from knowing and kind of utilizing Amazon and understanding some of the differences. Really, really excellent. We'd love your feedback if just watch this on YouTube, to share it in the comments, share the video on your social media. This is obviously something we do for free, and the only payment we require is sharing. So if you enjoy this, please comment and share it across, with other sellers or across your social media. And Mansour's put in a lot of time and effort into this, so thank you so much. And yeah, hopefully this helps you in your Walmart ads, and also obviously Incrementum Digital. We offer ad management of Amazon, Walmart, and we're in the process of expanding into other retail media channels. So if we could be helpful to you, feel free to reach out through our website, incrementumdigital.com. And again, thank you, Mansour, so much for putting this together.
No problem. Thank you guys. See you next time.